In a television landscape overflowing with historical dramas and political thrillers, Netflix's latest miniseries, Death by Lightning, has managed to pierce through the noise, delivering a tale as gripping as it is unsettling. Starring powerhouse performers Michael Shannon and Matthew Macfadyen, the four-part drama revisits one of America's most forgotten yet fascinating chapters, the rise and assassination of President James Garfield. It's a series that dares to mix dark humor with sharp political insight, turning a dusty piece of 19th century history into something disturbingly modern. From its haunting title to its eerie tone, Death by Lightning is not your typical period drama. It's a meditation on ambition, madness, and the perilous cost of fame in politics. And while the show sometimes rushes through key moments, it never lets go of its pulse, offering a riveting, if occasionally uneven, reflection on the American dream gone sour. Created by Mike Makowski and based on Candice Millard's acclaimed book, Destiny of the Republic, the series boldly steps into the murky world of political violence, a theme that feels uncomfortably relevant in today's climate. Makowski, known for Bad Education, approaches Garfield's story not as a dry history lesson, but as a psychological drama where ideals clash with delusion. The show opens with a fascinating framing device, hinting at the surreal aftermath of Garfield's assassination, the preservation of assassin Charles Guiteau's brain. From there, Death by Lightning unfolds in two parallel arcs. The rise of Garfield, portrayed by Shannon with his signature stoic intensity, and the slow mental unraveling of Guiteau, played with unnerving precision by Macfadyen. Together, they embody the collision of sanity and chaos that defines not just this story, but the very soul of American politics. We meet Garfield as a reluctant hero, an Ohio farmer and family man drawn unwillingly into the national spotlight. Shannon captures the essence of a man, guided by principle, yet tempted by power. His Garfield is neither saint nor cynic, but something deeply human. A leader trying to navigate integrity in a corrupt age. Opposite him stands Guiteau, a desperate dreamer with delusions of grandeur, whose erratic pursuit of recognition leads him down a path of obsession. Macfadyen's portrayal is electric, equal parts tragic, hilarious, and horrifying. His performance invites both sympathy and revulsion, mirroring the same complexity that often accompanies real-life extremists. For much of the series, we see these two men moving in orbit around each other, bound by fate, divided by sanity. The show's early episodes are its strongest, painting a vivid portrait of a turbulent America on the brink of change. The 1880 Republican Convention becomes a theater of power, manipulation, and moral compromise. Director Matt Ross captures it with cinematic flair, blending candlelit backrooms and smoky convention halls into an atmosphere thick with tension. It's here that Garfield's reluctant rise begins, thrust into leadership amid corrupt party bosses and cynical deals. At the same time, Guiteau lurks on the fringes, convinced that destiny has chosen him for greatness. There's a darkly comic energy to these scenes, especially as Nick Offerman steps in as Chester Arthur, Garfield's vice president and future successor. Offerman delivers one of the show's most memorable turns, his drunken, morally conflicted Arthur, providing both comic relief and unexpected pathos. Supporting performances deepen the narrative's texture. Betty Gilpin shines as Lucretia Garfield, a wife whose loyalty and intelligence ground her husband's moral compass. Bradley Whitford brings grizzled charm to his brief appearance as a political elder, while Shea Whigham's Roscoe Conkling oozes arrogance and influence. Even with limited screen time, these actors make each scene feel alive. Yet for all its impressive performances, Death by Lightning falters in pacing. After 3 episodes of careful build-up, the finale rushes through Garfield's assassination and its aftermath. What should have been the series' most emotionally charged moment feels strangely compressed, as if Netflix feared lingering too long on the horror of political martyrdom. It's a narrative decision that frustrates, but also fascinates, raising questions about how far modern audiences are willing to confront the darker corners of history. Still, what Death by Lightning accomplishes in tone and theme is remarkable. Beneath the ornate costumes and historical details lies a provocative commentary on fame, fanaticism, and the blurred line between patriotism and delusion. Guiteau's descent into madness feels eerily modern, a reflection of today's online echo chambers and self-radicalized individuals. Makowski and Ross draw subtle parallels without ever breaking the period illusion, letting viewers feel the unease without overt preaching. There's an almost satirical rhythm to Guiteau's story. A failed writer, a self-proclaimed visionary, a man so desperate to matter that he convinces himself murder will make him immortal. In contrast, Garfield's integrity and humanity shine brighter, making his fate all the more tragic. Shannon's restrained performance ensures that Garfield never feels like a symbol, but a man torn between principle and the cruel machinery of politics. Visually, the series is sumptuous. From gaslit corridors to blood-soaked hospital wards, each frame is meticulously crafted. The cinematography balances elegance with decay, mirroring the story's moral rot beneath its surface beauty. The sound design, too, carries an almost theatrical weight. At times, the show evokes the haunting energy of a Sondheim musical, especially Assassins, which the reviewer jokingly warns may linger in your head after viewing. That blend of tragedy and irony gives Death by Lightning its distinct texture, a story that mourns what was lost while mocking the absurdity of how it happened. Even when the script stumbles, its ambition remains admirable, a willingness to explore the psychology of power and the vanity that poisons it. However, some missed opportunities stand out. Historical figures like Frederick Douglass and Robert Todd Lincoln appear but are underused. Footnotes in a story where they could have added moral and historical depth. And the show's abrupt ending leaves much to be desired. Garfield's long, painful decline, a pivotal moment in medical history, is glossed over in minutes. The trial of Guiteau, one of the strangest spectacles of its time, is touched upon only briefly. One can't help but wonder whether a longer series, perhaps 6 or 8 episodes, might have allowed these moments to breathe. But even in its condensed form, Death by Lightning succeeds where many historical dramas fail. It makes the past feel alive, relevant, and disquietingly familiar. In the end, Death by Lightning is both a triumph and a cautionary tale of its own making. It's a gripping, beautifully acted exploration of power, pride, and madness, marred only by its haste to finish the story it so patiently began. Shannon and McFadden deliver some of their finest work, transforming a forgotten chapter of American history into something deeply human and hauntingly current. The show's imperfections don't erase its brilliance. They only remind us that history itself is often messy, rushed, and unresolved. For viewers craving intelligent, unsettling drama, Death by Lightning is a must-watch, a sharp, stylish reflection on how ambition can curdle into tragedy, and how the pursuit of legacy can, quite literally, end in madness. Netflix may have taken a risk airing it, but it's one that pays off in sparks, shadows, and yes, a touch of lightning.